When Luann and I originally conceived the idea of doing an Iowa-based secular progressive podcast, we had a few working ideas, and all of them were founded on the tragic mistake of assuming that Donald Trump would lose the election. We were going to spend a lot of time talking about latter-day movement conservatism, the aging, decaying forest of ditto heads, fundamentalists, Fox News zombies, Tea Partiers, half-baked objectivists, and lost causers that had provided the fertilizer for the Trump movement to grow and eventually metastasize within the White House. There is a slim hope that the Electoral College will do the only constitutionally useful thing it can do and prevent a Russian-appointed Manchurian candidate from assuming the power of the executive branch. Barring that, the Trumpocalypse is upon us. For our first broadside, we want to be crystal clear on a few issues up front. To start with, we want to get into specifics on what we think this election means, because I don't believe there has been a politician in my lifetime that has exhibited a worse set of character and intellectual traits and characteristics than the man who is about to assume office. To start with, Trump displays the characteristic of incuriosity, a habitual indifference if not downright hostility toward facts and evidence. Trump will deny plain facts about his past statements, about his business dealings, about his lack of political acumen, and whenever possible, no matter how lurid and uncomfortable the tap dance around reality becomes, he will try to diminish the seriousness of the things he stands accused of doing, believing, claiming, or supporting. The reasons for this behavior are pretty obvious. Both progressive and conservative writers, intellectuals, and politicians, in a rare feat of bipartisanship, have labeled Trump a, quote, pathological liar. It's not that Trump merely lies to distract his followers from the truth about him. It's that he lies even when there's no clear reason to do so. For Trump, lying is a compulsion, something he can't resist doing, like groping women or tweeting. He lies when it's convenient. He lies when there's no benefit. He lies about his lies and then lies about it. And his lying isn't even the half of it. You can add to the dark triad of incuriosity, pathological lying, and stupidity vindictiveness, pettiness, hostility toward women, hostility towards people of color and other cultures, a childish temperament coupled with an overwhelming sense of entitlement and self-importance, boorish, bullying, an orange, ferret-headed Narcissus who has never expressed any interest in anything beyond himself. So what do we think about all this? That this man is about to assume the presidency represents for us a low point in American cultural life, a historic blunder, a political Iraq or Vietnam in a long series of them. And we're more than a little concerned about the damage this idiot may do to the country and worse, the idea of democracy itself. Why did this happen? It's simple, so don't get distracted. 62 million people voted for a con man, and that's what Trump is, a grifter, a bullshit artist. You've heard the expression he was born on third base and thought he had a triple? Trump was born on third base and thought he invented baseball. 62 million Americans voted for an obvious, blundering con man. So easy to spot, 3/4 of so-called conservative radio hosts could do it in exactly that language. But there's a dilemma in this. A con or confidence man is a kind of economic predator who is named the way he is exactly because his method of predation is to first gain the trust and confidence of his victims and then exploit them in whatever way he can. When seen in this light, the Trump voter is not just a vessel of racism and rage, but a carefully selected target, a mark, a rube, who was caught unawares and will likely suffer some of the worst consequences before they discover the confidence man never really had a diamond mind, there was no Nigerian prince, and he really wasn't going to restore the lost kingdom of Atlantis or bring the jobs back from overseas. Nevertheless, you pulled the lever. No one forced you into that voting booth. In doing so, you provided Trump the presidency, a Congress and Senate neck-deep in corporate money, the Supreme Court, which might have actually restricted the effects of money in politics, a cabinet filled with millionaires and billionaires, corporate executives, Wall Street financiers, oil men, war profiteers, climate deniers, and political stooges. The Trump presidency will be the final reckoning for the American right wing. You have the keys to all the doors. You own this every minute of every day. Don't look our way for sympathy. If we believed in sin, we'd say that's what you've committed, and we fear there will be a heavy if unheralded price to be paid.